couldn't stay with him unless it was approved by a supervisor, all of whom she knew would be asleep at the time. So this was a way for her to get out of the situation. She claims that Christian said, "Who can I talk to? I'm going to say I requested you right now." Well, Markey reportedly told Christian, quote, "Excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. If I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that." Well, Markey then says that she told Christian, "You can take your hand off my ass for the first thing." Markey says that she tried to go back to her work, but Christian found her again, wanted her to find him a place to sleep for the night. So she ended up taking him to the cinema room for the yacht, which doubled as a place for people to sleep. And she claims that is when Christian blocked her and groped her, took off his clothes, tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. Now, the lawsuit goes on to say that Markey told the yacht captain what happened the very next day, but he didn't believe her. She says the captain retaliated against her for months after the alleged assault, before ultimately firing her in May of 2023. Now, aside from her account, she reportedly has photos of the bruises that she says were caused by this event with Christian Combs. The quote was, "Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored, as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. Appropriate action against those who make them." Then the attorneys for Universal Music Group, one of the defendants who are also being sued by Rodney Jones for their alleged participation and facilitation of the abuse and trafficking claimed by Jones, they argued that the claims were so, quote, offensively false that one of these attorneys, Donald Zakarin, wrote, "A license to practice law is a privilege, gratuitously, falsely, and recklessly accusing the UMG defendants of criminal behavior." So a lot of back and forth that we're seeing right here. And again, to be clear, everything that Diddy and his sons are facing are accusations. They haven't even been criminally charged. There has been no finding by a judge or a jury that they are liable at this point. Having said all of that, this is a very significant development.
New lawsuits and exclusive leaked footage have intensified attention on Diddy's ongoing legal issues. Reports indicate that both Diddy's son and Jennifer Lopez have been named in separate lawsuits linked to him. At the same time, Jay-Z is reportedly working to have the charges against him thrown out. Adding fuel to the fire, footage of an FBI raid at Diddy's mansion has surfaced, and there are even rumors suggesting that Diddy's son might end up incarcerated in the same facility as his father.
All these lawsuits is eerily similar. Diddy and his team would allegedly drug or spike the drinks of victims before Diddy and sometimes others sexually assaulted them. There are also allegations that Diddy forced these victims to have freak-offs, and oftentimes he recorded them. Here's where some of the allegations against his son, Justin Combs, come in. So all this takes us back to February, when Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod, filed civil suit against Diddy. In his lengthy lawsuit, Lil Rod straight name drops Justin Combs, describing him as someone who solicits prostitutes. In this specific instance, Lil Rod alleges at least one underage girl came to Diddy's home for a listening party. A sex worker was also apparently solicited, and a freak-off ensued. It's important to note Justin Combs is listed as a defendant on this case because, according to Lil Rod, he facilitated Diddy's alleged RICO enterprise and at times participated. Rod's civil suit points to more accusations against Justin Combs too, for his involvement in an alleged shooting cover-up. According to court documents, it happened on September 12, 2022, and Justin's friend who went by G were all there when things got heated. Lil Rod says he heard multiple gunshots ring out and later found G on the bathroom floor in the fetal position. Lil Rod says he was bleeding out of his hip and leg area. Lil Rod says he was applying pressure to G's wounds and then asked the crowd to call an ambulance. At that point, both Diddy and Justin Combs disappeared to another part of the studio. Diddy then gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. So that specific allegation involves Diddy's son Justin, but another allegation and entirely separate civil lawsuit involves his other son Christian, or King Combs. Grace Omar K alleges that Christian Combs sexually assaulted her on a yacht in December 2022, and
A new lawsuit has been filed against Christian Combs, Diddy's son, accusing him of sexual assault at one of his father's parties. The victim, 26-year-old Grace Omar, claims that Christian drugged her and groped her. She alleges that he pressured her into drinking tequila with him and became aggressive, grabbing her arm when she tried to leave. The disturbing details of the incident raise troubling questions, hinting that those within Diddy's inner circle may have hidden secrets as well.
But going back to Cardella Smith's filing, his notice says that Jennifer Lynn Lopez, aka J-Lo, aka Jenny from the Block, quote, will be called as a material witness and expert to Sean Combs' viewing, possession, and distribution of his sexual assault upon the plaintiff in 1997. Plaintiff states that the material witness Jennifer Lynn Lopez, also known as J-Lo and Jenny from the Block, was engaged in a relationship with the defendant Sean Combs during 1999 and 2001, and that the sexual assault of the plaintiff was recorded, distributed, and held by the defendant at his New York residence and recording studio. And during the relationship with Jennifer Lopez, she was made privy to this video that was taken by Sean Combs and his employee Kirk Burroughs, and that she was even questioned by New York Police Detective Derek Palmer about this matter, and that the report will show that her answers to this tape was and still remains a resounding yes to its existence. And again, Cardella Smith writes that he wants to call Officer Derek Palmer as a witness because he says Palmer is the one who questioned Lopez and believes that he will have testimony that could help his case. Now, as I mentioned, Diddy's legal team has called for this entire case to be thrown out. Cardella Smith has filed a massive response to that request that totaled more than 200 pages. Word for word, it's something out of like a legal textbook. There's so much to slog through, but I kind of want to give you some of the highlights. So first, in addition to the claims of rape and a cover-up, Cardella Smith also claims and alleges that Combs was violent towards his loved ones. At times, Cardella Smith addresses alleged threats against his family. Other times, he says Combs actually caused serious injuries to his brother. His response reads, defendant used threats of murder, that the plaintiff knew it was a safe time to bring the case, and that is why we are here at this juncture. And Cardella Smith argued that fear for his own safety and the safety of his family is one of the main reasons, and says that that reason alone should override any issue with the statute of limitations, that these claims might otherwise be time barred. And he also argues that while he's been in prison, fellow inmates and prison guards
Leaked footage of Christian Combs at the event has now emerged, further fueling the controversy. Shockingly, this is just one of the lawsuits involving Diddy's family. Another case has implicated Diddy's son Justin Dior Combs, accusing him of being involved in scouting and arranging prostitutes for his father's infamous events.
Rapper and music mogul Jay-Z has been accused of raping a 13-year-old girl, allegedly with Sean Diddy Combs 2 decades ago. According to US news outlet NBC, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, is named in a civil lawsuit alongside Combs. The suit was previously filed back in October, but only titled the rapper as a defendant. It was refiled today, identifying Carter. The assault allegedly occurred at an MTV Video Music Award celebrity watched. Combs, who remains in jail awaiting trial, has repeatedly denied all the accusations against him. A short time ago, Jay-Z posted a lengthy and fiery statement on Instagram saying in part, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one."
Jennifer Lopez is facing backlash over her connection to Diddy as new allegations have emerged. Cardella Smith, an alleged victim, claims he was assaulted by Diddy in 1997 and has filed a lawsuit naming Lopez as a key witness. The lawsuit alleges that Lopez, who was dating Diddy at the time, was shown video footage of the assault, but chose not to take any action.
Calling him a deplorable human, saying the Texas attorney has no honor or dignity, and he's just an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Meanwhile, Busby responded saying Jay-Z was bullying and harassing him and the plaintiff in that case, while maintaining he'd let the matter settle itself in court. But now in a new lawsuit, a Texas man is claiming Jay-Z's lawyers are bribing people to sue Busby and his law firm. It's being represented by none other than Busby's law firm, who filed the suit on his behalf. Now, Jose Maldonado, who is the plaintiff in this suit, is suing Jay-Z's attorneys and his company Rock Nation, but not Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z himself. According to the lawsuit, the defendants in this suit are Marcy Bryan Croft, her law firm MJ Legal, Rock Nation. They allege the defendants conspired to obstruct justice by engaging in shadowy operatives to illegally get more than 24 current and former clients of Busby law firm to turn around and sue them. The suit claims Rock Nation is financing this alleged effort, while attorneys Marcy Croft and the law firm Quinn Emanuel are orchestrating this whole thing. According to the suit, the defendant's agents were pretending to work for the state of Texas and allegedly flashed fake badges for as much as 10 grand to a former client to sue the Busby law firm. But the so-called agents were allegedly caught on audio tape red-handed. The suit claims attorney Marcy Croft, who is a lawyer but also a member of Team Rock, was orchestrating that whole effort. Then in another recording, those agents were describing in great detail the alleged criminal conspiracy. The suit claims they went so far to admit the lawsuits would be reported in the press, and some former clients already accepted money to join that alleged effort. As I mentioned, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, isn't named as a defendant in the lawsuit. However, the suit claims Roc Nation and Jay-Z are synonymous, given the mogul is the founder and chairman. The lawsuit acknowledges Busby's law firm filed the rape lawsuit against Jay-Z in New York federal court, and as a result, Jay-Z sued Busby's law firm in Los Angeles state court. But the suit claims while all of that legal back and forth was going on, he claims the defendants used him as a pawn. He alleges on behalf of Marcy Croft, 2 people attempted to contact him many times and went so far as to go to what they believed to be Maldonado's home. Instead, they went to his dad's house and allegedly identified themselves as federal officers. After realizing they were at the wrong home, they continued to contact Maldonado, and Maldonado claims they were pushy. Once they got in touch with him, he claims those individuals said they were with the state for. The suit alleges Croft said she would assign Maldonado's case to someone who could get him a lot of money. Instead, Maldonado contacted the Busby law firm, and now they're suing for solicitation and civil conspiracy. In a statement to the Houston Chronicle, Busby said, quote, "our former clients to try to entice them with money to sue our firm. According to Mr. Maldonado, we now know who is behind this effort. We won't be intimidated nor deterred in our important work. I expect more lawsuits will follow as we continue to hear former clients report this egregious conduct," end quote. But Marcy Croft fired back against the allegations, saying the lawsuit reeks of desperation. She also told the Houston Chronicle, quote, "for over 25 years, I've dedicated I didn't ask to be a part of this fight, but now that he's dragged me into it, he should know that I'm not someone who backs down. Mr. Busby should be worried. Truth and justice are on my side."
Celebrities linked to Diddy are now facing lawsuits for their alleged involvement in various crimes. Jay-Z, who initially attempted to avoid the charges, has changed his defense strategy. His legal team is now arguing for the dismissal of the case, claiming that the alleged assault, which took place nearly 25 years ago, is too old to be prosecuted. However, Judge Annalisa Torres has sided with the victim, ruling that the case will
waiting to get this hearing started. It was interesting too because this time around, Diddy was brought in first. He was brought in about a couple minutes after 2 p.m. today, and we were all kind of waiting to see. We had heard mumblings that his mom might be in courtroom, that we were waiting for the children, but then nothing happened. But then, in another twist and turn, the children do walk in, but this time it was a lot smaller bunch than it was the last time. So last time you're having all of Diddy's children except Love, but this time around you just had Justin Combs and Christian Combs, meaning that there was no Quincy there today. Delilah and Jesse weren't there. Chance wasn't there, and the caretakers of his younger children who aren't of age just yet, they were not present inside the courtroom as well today. But his mom also wasn't in court today. So when Diddy came inside, it was still that standard issued MDC jumpsuit. He's wearing khaki. From that video of, I think that was obtained by Daily Mail back in September, of Diddy playing hacky sack in Central Park, to now he appeared just different from the luxury lifestyle that he was living before, but he appeared very noticeably thinner, and maybe being locked up in detention is starting to wear on him. He appeared grayer a little bit as well too, but again, he appeared just like how you would expect Diddy to appear for a hearing.
According to a report from the Daily Mail, that's why Diddy had a breakdown. A person close to him apparently said, quote, "spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him." If we're to believe all this, Diddy had a meltdown in his cell. A friend or person told the Daily Mail, quote, "he eventually managed to calm himself down with the meditation technique he's been using while he's been behind bars. It took him a few hours of deep breathing and focusing to get out of the bad space he was in, but he finally managed it." This isn't the first time Diddy's mental health has come into question while he's been at MDC. When he first arrived, he was on suicide watch, which the U.S. Department of Justice National Institute of Corrections describes by a frequent observation. Diddy's suicide watch was only temporary, though. He was housed in a special protective unit of the jail after that for the first few weeks of his stay. But Diddy right now is in Gen Pop, meaning general population, the place where majority of the inmates stay.
Proceed. Jay-Z's legal team is now under intense scrutiny following reports of alleged misconduct. Sources claim that members of his team were caught on tape visiting victims and impersonating federal officers in an apparent attempt to bribe and pressure witnesses. The attorney pursuing the case against Diddy, Tony Busby, has accused Jay-Z's legal team of engaging in illegal tactics to manipulate the case's outcome. This latest development adds fuel to the already explosive legal battles surrounding Diddy and his associates.
All his celebrity friends is going to speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
So you feel like they might be worried that they might be on tape at one of Diddy parties doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
I think that the celebrities that may be worried is because what Lil Rob said. Lil Rob said in his affidavit that Diddy had, can you imagine? He had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs or little tape recorders. I mean, little those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, woman on woman, man on man. They just wondering who or when they're gonna let this stuff be known, if it's on videotape.
Yeah, man, I know they gotta be shook, man, after finding out he was recording everything.
But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities gonna be shook. He had politicians. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Hallelujah.
As Diddy's empire continues to unravel under the weight of decades of alleged misconduct, questions about the extent of corruption within his inner circle are growing. The emerging allegations suggest a deep web of deceit and criminal activity that could implicate more figures in the entertainment industry. With high-profile figures like Jay-Z and Diddy under fire, the scandal is rapidly expanding, leaving many to wonder who else will be exposed as part of this unfolding drama. As the legal battles intensify, the public's focus is now shifting toward the broader implications for the celebrity world and whether this marks the beginning of a major reckoning for the industry.